Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey guys.
We're going to talk about 11/22/63. The episode is called Happy Birthday, Lee Harvey Oswald. This is episode 6. No Alan here to talk about this week because it's his his wife's birthday. Hey, I knew them when they were still just not married, okay? So
Yeah, but it's been a while now.
it's been a year, maybe. If that.
That's quite a while.
Well. You want to talk, you still think it's 2014 sometimes.
I do not think it's 2014 sometimes.
But anyway, what did you think of this week's 11/22/63?
It was definitely a bit more interesting in terms of plot development. We actually moved towards him actually focusing on whether or not Lee Harvey Oswald was the killer again. It kind of put the relationship stuff back on the back burner.
It did. But I oddly kind of preferred it when it wasn't the main thing.
I agree.
Like, I don't think anything, like, it wasn't bad by any means. Like, it was some fun stuff. I think part of the problem might be that we don't really care for the fake brother character. And
Bill.
That's right, it's Bill. And because so much of this focused on the end of his plot, I mean, we might see him again, but at least for now, it seems like he's ended that thing. And I think for us, we could see where it was going, and that's it. I did get a chuckle out of him being committed to an insane asylum.
Yeah, so that
He's
he wouldn't.
from the future. He's from the future.
Well, you're not helping your case, mate.
Nah, you're really not. So
Yeah, I agree. I like that it was advancing the plot because I feel like with only 8 episodes, I believe, so this was 3 from the end. It kind of had to be advancing the plot at this point, otherwise I'd be getting worried. But at the same time, I'd rather be watching the other stuff.
yeah, like the other stuff was more engaging. I think it's because the characters in his relationship with Sadie is actually really engaging, whereas the main plot was actually fun at the start, but it's kind of a waiting game more than anything else because he's mostly the main plot is him waiting for him to say something or do something so he knows things.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's kind of this weird thing where the main plot doesn't feel like it's driving forward, where everything else does.
yeah,
Interesting stuff though. Yellow card man showing up at the hospital when Sadie was about to get her operation to patch up her
yeah. It
face.
was interesting.
Yeah, and it was like, is he threatening Jake and trying to stop him from doing whatever he's doing, or is there more to it than that? Like it was.
It kind of gave the impression that, like, because obviously it was trying to kill her.
Hmm.
It kind of gave the impression that we speculate maybe he's an agent of time. But now I'm thinking maybe the opposite. Maybe he's trying to help by getting rid of the distractions.
Maybe. I would still probably go with the previous theory, mainly just because I feel like that this is like he shouldn't have a relationship with this woman, and if he has a relationship that continues, he may end up having a kid with her, which would
That's
really
true.
fuck
Yeah.
up the time stream.
Yeah, you're right.
So, or maybe it's because Yellow Card Man, time itself, whatever was going on here, realizes that Jake wants to bring her back to the future. We don't even know if he can do that because he offered that, and then I'm like, but can you?
Yeah.
Like, can she come through the rabbit hole?
Yeah. We're not entirely sure how that works still. Like, they didn't really explain how he gets back. Does he just walk on the same spot? Like, that wasn't very clear.
It sounded like he just walked through the same exact area, and he came
Yeah.
back. I don't know. I still think the stuff with him and Sadie is the most interesting, or at least the most enjoyable in the show right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So my favourite parts of the episode were genuinely their little banter occasionally, and her like telling me something from the future. Even though, don't get me wrong, I still think she believed this future business.
Way too easily.
Yeah, just a little bit too easily. Like if someone showed up and said, "I'm from the future," I'd be like, "Well,
Prove it.
yeah, tell me something that's about to happen. You know, what? Maybe not in the next 10 minutes because you wouldn't know everything that's going to happen in the past, but tell me a major event that's going to happen in the next couple of months, and we'll see if it."
Yeah, something quantifiable that you can prove.
Yes, exactly. But hey, it's a TV show, and love tells her he's telling the truth.
Of course it does.
But no, that was. I'm really enjoying their stuff. So That's nice. I like that he's kind of friends with the school principal now. Like they're all kind of a
Yeah.
nice little group. And Mimi's dying, but she's like friends with him now as well. And you get this sense that all these different things have happened because some time has passed. Because
This is only a month before.
well,
the
that.
end.
But I was also going to say that Bill like visiting Lee Harvey Oswald seemed like a regular thing now.
That's true.
Because he's at his party, and then his mum's like, "Oh, you're with Bill. Everyone knows Bill."
Yeah, but it opened with a date, didn't it? Which was just like a month before. It
Yeah,
was like
I
10
think I
something.
was glancing away when the date came up, but yeah, it would be getting pretty close now.
It was 10, 16 maybe.
So, no, we're getting close. And honestly, all the stuff with the gambling and him getting beat up at the end felt just kind of like, oh, here's an obstacle.
Yeah, it kind of felt. Hang on, we haven't got a cliffhanger for this one.
Yeah, that's kind of how it felt because I like when he goes to see the gambling guy, and I was like, okay, he's still doing this, but he's playing it a little bit smarter because we seen him do this in the first like episode or the second episode, and it went wrong because he put too much money on something and it got they tried to be rough and all that. And don't get me wrong, like I understand why this happened in terms of plot because Bill had went around and made this bet several places because he was trying to scam the system and he doesn't know how to hold back, whereas Jake obviously has been showing
Yeah,
some restraint. But to be honest, it really did just feel like this is just additional drama or tension for the sake of having an obstacle, for the sake of having, like you said, a cliffhanger.
yeah. I feel like this every other episode's had a cliffhanger, but it's felt deserved and natural. Whereas this one just felt like shit. We haven't got one. Well, we can't have one episode without a cliffhanger. Let's get him beat up. That'll do.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. We've got 2 episodes left, and you would think the shooting wouldn't be until the final episode, but I could see it being the end of the next one.
Yeah, and then deal with the aftermath.
And then the shenanigans that I'm expecting will be after, but we'll see.
If not, it'll be the very start of the last one.
The one thing I did like about Bill, though, even though it was a little bit on the nose, I liked that they were implying that he might be the second shooter.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to one of my theories way back at the start when we first started talking about this show, that it's actually the reason why the second shooter's always been a mystery is because it's something to do with him going back in time and affecting it.
Yeah.
So he always did that, and it always affected the outcome.
My one thing with that is it kind of defies their rules for their time.
Yeah, that it resets every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just that it resets. It's like we know he can have a change for things that weren't there. Like we saw it with the tree. It
Yeah.
wasn't there, and then it was, and then it reset, and it wasn't. So we know he can have a tangible effect, which means
True.
if the second shooter thing was always there, he can't have changed it.
Unless it's just a case of time course correcting, and because his influence took away the second shooter, it corrected it by
And added another double.
yeah,
Yeah,
forcing Bill into it
yeah, it could have been.
by making him attracted to his wife and so on.
Hmm. No, I like that idea.
Yeah. So I don't know what happens now, but yeah, we got some stuff with Lee Harvey Oswald, practicing with his gun, out of the shooting range, and little tidbits like that. But that's very much felt like an episode of like most of the episodes I think have had like a story that's had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Where you can see this is the story of this episode. Like last week's was very much about Sadie's ex-husband and him being violent and that whole situation and the aftermath of it. Whereas this week it felt like more of a hodgepodge of different things.
I'm inclined to say this might be the weakest episode yet, because it doesn't really know what it was doing. Like you say, every other episode I can tell you what it was and what it was doing, whereas this one it's like, well, there was a bit of this, there's a bit of that, and it's kind of all over the place. I mean, I guess you could say it's the one that ends Bill stuff, but even that, it wasn't like a massive focus with everything else still going on.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff simmering, but no, I mean, obviously we still generally like the show. It was just maybe one of the weaker episodes of it.
Yeah. Even saying this was a weakest episode isn't like a bad. It's still not a bad episode.
Yeah, there were still things to like. It was just a little bit more scattershot than it's typically been.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's just a lull that they want to kick it into overdrive for the last bit and really go down on it, and they just had an episode left over. Maybe they just had too much.
Yeah, so, alright, so we'll see how next week plays out. That's been episode 6 of 11/22/63.